Donna, it's really, 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 really amazing. And why do I repeat myself so often with so many really, really, reallys? Because I wrote you a message just a few days ago, checking in how you're doing. And I expected the normal, I'm on the way, because, most of us need 4, 5, 6 months after the treatment to get the full result. And I get back, hey, I'm back at 100%, can't complain. So you just said you don't consider yourself to have long COVID anymore.
It's a bit surreal, actually, because I've been ill for nearly 2 years and it hasn't quite sunk in yet. And I keep waiting for symptoms. Every morning I wake up thinking, oh, is it back? And I've been tired because I've been doing a lot, but it's a normal tired. And the difference is in my body. I can tell. I feel the best way to describe it is I feel like I've lost 20 kilos. My body feels lighter and looser and obviously more energy. But yeah,
the list of symptoms was really long. What were the main symptoms that bothered you the most from long COVID?
Brain fog's not a nice one. The fatigue, that's the big one for everyone mostly. PEM, muscle aches. Yeah, they were the main ones. So, and I'd started on triple anticoagulant therapy before coming to you, and that boosted me up quite significantly and immediately. So that kind of knew I was on the right track of blood flow and everything. And I actually wrote to the clinic and said, look, I'm on this now, and I'm doing quite a bit better. Is it still worthwhile me, because I'd already planned to come to you, is it still worthwhile me coming? And the email back said, well, look, the apheresis does a lot of other things. It clears out spike proteins, clears out pathogens, and a lot of other stuff. So I said, yes, all right. Because triple anticoagulant therapy, that's pretty heavy duty stuff as well. And I didn't really want to do it
ourselves in the clinic, but we prefer to do it in the first 6 months after onset of symptoms, because the duration of treatment is shorter, 6, 7 weeks. And you don't have the problem that you later on have if people go off the treatment, the symptoms don't return, which is what we see very often with triple. Not with H.E.L.P apheresis, though. So once you're over that hurdle, you've been horse riding all day yesterday, you told me, right?
Yeah.
That would have been, you couldn't even walk to the stables before, you said. Like literally.
Well, no, I just couldn't. I had a couple of hours in the mornings where I could do stuff, but that kind of wore off at about 11 or 12. And then the rest of the day, every day was couch.
Wow.
And so I kind of got into a routine of that, and shaped my life around that. But that's kind of no way to live, really.
Yeah.
And so it's taken me a while to remember what I used to do in the afternoons. Sorry?
Would you agree? Because for me, it was like a complete different life after I got rid of long COVID. It was like a second chance at life. Does it feel the same for you?
Because I've been restricted physically for the last 2 years, I'm on this super motivated, demented mission to get fit and be ripped and flexible and buff and bendy. And I know I have to take it slow, and I am trying my absolute best, but I'm just, I'm starting a gym program, and my horse doesn't like me anymore, because when I do ride him, I'm asking a lot more of him. He's used to, when I did occasionally ride him, it was all very ploddy and slow and everything. Yeah, so, and I had to remember, what was it I actually did in the afternoons? Because I'm kind of semi-retired, but I live on a property, so there's always stuff to do. And now I'm out there doing it and helping my partner, back. So that feels really good.
I was thinking, when I read your message, I was like, this is the perfect Happy New Year message for everyone out there who's still sitting in a dark room, who still has the symptoms, who's still out of hope, who still has all of this anxiety, depression, everything you have. I was like, we got to do this phone call and send it out to the world before the new year, because this is just such a great message. End of the year. I mean, literally from having long COVID to no long COVID within what, 2 months? Something like that.
Yeah. I felt like I wanted to also say to the people during treatment, like not to get frustrated. Like during treatment, I crashed between a couple of the treatments, big time. You know, could really hardly get out of bed, and it took a while to come back from that. And even flying home, you know, the whole jet lag. 2 weeks after I got home, I still felt really bad, you know, and I was still on the couch and go, oh, you know, what have I done, and all this sort of stuff. And then it all just kind of started wearing off and just started coming good. So people during treatment, don't lose hope. Like, if I think that's part of the process almost, to feel crappy. It's kind of a sign that it's working.
I remember I was holding your hand in the treatment room and you were like, Marcus, I don't feel well. I don't know if I should stop. And I was like, it's not linear. It's not a linear recovery. And you were like, you promise I'm going to be better? I said, I can't promise, but the odds are 80%. And just a week later, you were like, okay, not there yet, but I'm better than last week. So guess you are right.
I did. Yeah, I did perk up after number 5 or something. I had 6 treatments overall, and then had 4 hyperbaric sessions, and had, I can't even remember what vitamin infusions.
Glutathione and NAD plus and alpha lipoic, I guess. Yeah. And then we could literally watch you getting better. I remember the day you left, because you came in a time when we had quite a lot of changes in the clinic. So we hired a new director, because you could see that we were bursting at the seams, right? Like all the 5 beds were constantly full. So even though we are a German clinic, we were reaching our limits. It was not easy to get every patient appointments in the right time, with the right medication, with the right IVs. We managed. It was a bit of a bumpy road. Now that we have our new clinical director, things are just so easy, because you wouldn't believe what one more person in the management team does. It's amazing. Criso, she's really amazing. But even you were in that really full time in the clinic and everything was pumping on all sides. I hope it was still convenient. I mean, no loud noises, no light or disturbance. Did you feel that we achieved what we planned to do, to make a clinic for people who have long COVID? Did it feel in tune with what you were experiencing?
Yeah, definitely. The nurses, they're fantastic. They need a raise. They're great. Yeah, no, it was all very easy to access. The taxis back and forth, that's a really good thing. Yeah, nothing particularly difficult or tricky about it. You know, it's a very nice, serene kind of atmosphere, but there's still a chance to talk to other patients. And I think that's really important. There was a lot of cross communication, changing of stories and that's really nice.
It's more like a family thing, like a community there, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it is a bit, sounds a bit corny, but it's kind of true. You know, and
I was the same like you in the beginning. I didn't like this terminology. It was actually invented by the patients, not by us. I just was like, well, we'll just stick with it, you know.
Yeah. So and that was really, that's an important part, to be able to share stories, I think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm beyond happy, because we achieved for you what we needed 1-2 years in the past, before we had the combination therapy. Just H.E.L.P apheresis alone, I needed 2 years to get where you went to in 2 months, which is amazing. So I'm like super happy what is doable by now. And seeing you like this, with your voice all loud and clear, and you're being bubbly, and it's just amazing.
I should tell you, I have a small confession. You advised me to back off the apixaban of the triple anti, but I was so paranoid and so used to being on it, and it was such a blanket, that I stayed on it. And I came home, but straight away, kind of immediately, just doing the normal things, I started bruising really badly, like, which I hadn't before on the triple, you know, nothing at all. But so I took myself off it after a week or 2. I was black and blue, you know. And that was kind of really physical evidence that my blood viscosity had shifted.
Yeah, it happens. There's 2 traps. First of all, people sometimes after apheresis think they need to stay on the anticoagulants forever and ever. Usually 3 to 6 months is enough. Well, you did the extreme version, 3 instead of 2. And then the second trap is doing too much too early without pacing. almost everybody gets into that. But there seems to be people like you and me that are pretty good. I did a lot of stupidities already in the clinic. If I look back what I did during my treatment, oh my God. I mean, I bought cake for the nurses, 2 big boxes. And I was not even able to hold a glass of water when I arrived there properly, right? So, and I carried it at 29 degrees in Germany, walking 400 meters. And that was, oh my God, in the heat and everything. So, but it worked out in the end, just like for you. So here we are. Yeah, perfect.
I'm probably not even really pacing. I'm probably just living my life, really. But there's no repercussions. Nothing's coming back on me. So I'm keeping on doing it.
Perfect, darling. Thank you so much. So let's do the second part. Because we're going to do a very short little 2-minute clip for the people with brain fog, you know. That's a new idea of George. So just short little answers, whatever comes to mind. The ones that I sent you.
I'm Donna. I am from rural Australia, and I've had long COVID for probably about 20 months. I had kind of MCAS and POTS in the early days, but they sort of resolved. But then just lasting fatigue, PEM, brain fog, muscle aches for 20 months, a long time. I was on the Australian long COVID page, and that's where I first learned about the clinic. And it took me like months and months and months to come around to the idea of doing it. You know, it's a really big, scary thing, very expensive, very far away. But nothing was changing. I just wasn't getting any better. And as I was getting more desperate and over it, that I made the decision. I'd known of the other clinics in Germany and Switzerland, but Cyprus seemed cheaper, obviously, but also seemed to offer a few more treatments. So I kind of went for that because that's what most people were doing. The actual accessing of the clinic, the booking, the staff, no problems at all. It was way easier than I thought. They have taxi service that comes and goes. So that was all super easy. Stayed in a nice apartment. So if I wasn't so sick, it would have been a great holiday. But anyway, the short-term benefits, look, I actually probably crashed during treatments and, struggled at times. It was sort of bit of a tough journey, but I persevered. The long-term benefits, I am about, I guess, a month since I've been back, and I can honestly say, no paid advertisement, nothing. I am 100%. And I'm back living life. And so, yes, of course, I would, recommend it. It is a massive, major life investment, and I get that. For me, I don't regret a cent of it. I just kind of wish I'd done it earlier, actually. But, at least I've done it. And if you can do it, yes, I would say to do it. Thank you.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Hey, it was so good seeing you. And you're a unicorn, just like my mom and me. And there's not many of us with 100%. You know that? There's very few.
Wow.
There's hundreds that go to 70, 80, 90%.
Yeah.
Hundreds. It's 350 in our clinic alone. But the people that go 100%, I only know of a few dozen so far in the last year. So that's really a major achievement. And most of them are from this year, since we started combination therapy. So that's a great achievement. The science is not as accurate, but the clinical experience, we're going full throttle with that now. I mean, you can see the medical team learning at light speed. It's crazy, And I know at times it doesn't seem like it's very organized or very individual, because the doctors are advised not to show up too often because so many patients are scared of the white pills and the name tags. So everything's done in the background, machine learning, AI, several medical advisors scanning through the treatment reports and everything. And only when the patient really needs the doctor, then he books an appointment. So I know it kind of feels very relaxed and loose, but it's actually all database. So what we're going to do in the future, we're actually going to biotrack every single patient, and with a 2-week delay for legal reasons, we're going to publish it on the website. anonymously. So people can really see, oh, these are real people, and this is how they're doing. This is their pulse rate, this is their sleep pattern, this is their blood pressure, this is their SpO2, this is their list of symptoms, and this is how they're doing, you know, because
Wow.
the results have been so good that we're not shy of showing it to the world. And we're also going to
Yeah.
make it accessible, open data for everyone to do their own studies with it, because we need it. We need more studies, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, that sounds great. Sounds
Yeah.
really good.
And if you and your hubby ever are short of a great location to do vacation at, you know where to find us to have a coffee with. And please pace a little bit, just a little bit, just a
I
little bit,
know, I know, I know.
just a little bit, and always have the early treatments at hand. So in case you test positive, give us a call and we run you through, because reinfections don't have to end up in another apheresis round. They can just be perfectly fine if you, for 10 days, go on the right medications. That's very important to remember.
All
The
right,
only thing
sounds
you
good.
really have to keep in mind, whenever you feel flu symptoms, rapid test, rapid test, rapid test. At any given
Yeah.
time, have a box of rapid tests, ideally 2 to 3 different producers that are not overdue date. And then whenever you have a flu or a cold, test 1 to 3 times a day. If it goes positive, shrug your shoulders, give us a call and say, run me through the detailed things that I need to take, you know, and that's that.
Okay.
That makes me sleep
Yes.
very well, knowing that, you know.